Okay, great. So today is the last topic of electrical part, and that is transformers. Now, before we start, I would like to tell you that I'm not an expert about transformer because it is a hardcore topic of electrical engineering. So if you have some questions, I may not be able to answer right away, but I promise I will try to look up and give the answer as soon as possible. Okay, so the topic of today is transformers. Now we are all familiar with transformers. Transformers are used to step up or oh, I'm fine. Thank you, Rupesh. Good evening to all. Transformers are used to step up or step down the EC voltage. Okay. For example, the voltage which comes through the transmission lines from the power station to our home, it has a very high value of several kilovolts, but step by step it is stepped down to 440 volts, and finally in our homes it comes as 220 volts. Okay, through different transformers. And one of the biggest advantages of AC over DC is that AC can be easily stepped up or stepped down using transformers, but it will not work with DC, right? So how a transformer works? The basic principle is Faraday's law. So what does Faraday's law tell us? From physics, what Faraday said is induced EMF in a loop that is not equal that is proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. And what is magnetic flux? Magnetic flux is the total amount of magnetic field passing through a given surface S. Record, yes, record I সবসময় আমি ইউটিউবে আপলোড করি, আগের ক্লাসে দেখো করা হয়েছে, এটাও হয়ে যাওয়ার পরে আমি ইউটিউবে আপলোড করব। ওকে, so you can see the recording from YouTube. Okay, so if this is an open surface, mind it, not closed, okay, and some magnetic field is passing through this, and this surface is S, the direction of S is perpendicular to the surface. This is the direction. So the flux is the integral of BDS. Please remember that it's not the closed integral. We always consider open surface, okay, not a closed surface. Because if we integrate this over a closed surface, what happens? What is the value of this for a closed integral? Anybody? What is the value of the integral I have written in red? Note that in the red one there is a circle which is not there in the black one. What does the circle signify? This circle is not present here but is present here. What does the circle signify? Anybody? Did you study Maxwell's equation in physics? I don't know your physics syllabus. I don't know if it is there or not. Closed surface integral, right? And if what is the value of this? What is the value of this? Yes, 0. Why? It is 0, right? 0 is right. Why it is 0? What happens? Why it is 0? 0 is the right answer. But why it is 0? Did you study Maxwell's equation? What will cancel out other? Did you study Maxwell's equation in physics? In first year or first semester or second semester? So there was one equation stating this, and this comes directly from this. No. Then why, what about this? This has got a name. This has got a name. It is called Gauss law of magnetism. Okay. And this is always zero, no matter how B or H is. No, not that. Divergence of B is zero, yes, but from that you can conclude this, okay, using this one, divergence theorem. Because magnetic monopoles do not exist, right? All the, like, we have got free electric, like plus Q charges, positive charges or negative charges. They're isolated, they can exist. But an isolated north pole or an isolated south pole, they do not exist. It is not seen anywhere in the world so far. So all the field lines, they start from the north, from the N and comes back to S. Okay. So for a closed surface, this amount of field lines coming out and going in are always same. They cancel at this zero. However, since this is an open surface here, this may not be zero. Okay. And this is the amount of magnetic flux. And Faraday's law states that the induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. And what is the proportionality constant? What is the proportionality constant? If I want to find the equality. So if this is true, then EMF is equal to K times d phi dt. What is K? What is K? I didn't say anything about turns. No, I am not saying anything about coils or turns. What is K? There is another law which is always used with this Faraday's law. What is that? No. Lenz's law, yes, not Lenz, L-E-N-Z. Okay. And what does Lenz's law say? Yes. What does it say? Exactly. The induced EMF, it opposes the cause. So what is the cause? The cause is change of magnetic flux. So the induced EMF will oppose the change of magnetic flux. So what is K? What is K? Ranges constant. What is that? That's what I want to know. What is K? The induced EMF will try to oppose. So what should be K? It is not permeability, not number of turns, not anything else. It's a number. What is that number? K is -1. So EMF is minus d phi by dt, right? This was must study in, I don't know about college, but in HS you must have seen this equation. Okay. Right. So this is Faraday's law. This is revision. You know, I'm sure all of you know. Right. So EMF is minus d phi by dt. Minus because it opposes the change of flux. Right. So this is done. Good. Second is hysteresis loop. Okay. Magnetic circuit is not there in your syllabus, so we didn't discuss. If suppose we have a coil, okay, and we pass some current, maybe AC, maybe DC, doesn't matter. If we pass some current, so there would be a flow of current, right? And this flow of current will induce a magnetic field, correct? So it will be like this. it will generate some magnetic flux, BDS, right? Okay. Now, if we have air, so this magnetic flux will go everywhere. But if we want to ensure that maximum magnetic flux is linked inside the coil, we have to use some material with a higher value of permeability. Mu r is greater than 1. Okay, some magnetic material that will ensure that most of the flux stays. Like if I use a basic transformer, like there is some flux, okay, so this flux is linked with another coil where some EMF is generated. We would like to ensure that maximum flux here is linked with this, correct? So the way to do it is using some magnetic material. This has got very high amount of permeability. Okay, so this will ensure that the flux lines, they move like this. Okay, they move through the coil, through the material, and most of the flux from the primary is transferred to the secondary and very less is wasted. That is what we want, because we want to be high efficient. For example, transformers, it is very easy to have 98%, 99% efficiency. This might look very good in the first place compared to the electronic circuits, where it is 25, 33, 30, 50%. But see very carefully that 99% might look very good in the beginning, but what is 1% of 100 megawatt? If the transformer rating is 100 megawatts, what is 1% of 100 megawatt? One megawatt, yes, but 1 megawatt is a significant amount of power, right? Be careful. Small m means milli, something totally different. Okay, mega is capital M. So Orkodeep's answer is the best. Yes, exactly. So 1 megawatt, so 99% efficiency might look very good on paper, but even 1 megawatt, 1% loss means 1 megawatt. That is a significant amount of power, right? So for transformer, even this, if we make this 1% loss to 0.9% loss, that would be a very good achievement. Okay. And so we want to ensure that maximum amount of flux from the primary coil is linked to the secondary coil. So we use a material with high amount of permeability, like some type of steel and some material. Okay. Now, what are the types of losses we can experience? Okay. One is, of course, I square R loss. Okay, that is there. What else can be there? No, but okay, let's do the hysteresis loss. So have you seen this graph before? Hysteresis, right? And there's another one called eddy current loss. So there are two losses, hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. So have you seen this figure before? What you can see on the screens, this BH curve, right? So what does this signify? So I am using this some current to generate some flux. So we start from origin where the current is 0. So both H and B are 0. Now if we increase H, then unlike, then B does not increase linearly. Okay. See the dotted line, this one, initially, the dotted one. Okay. So with H, B increases non-linearly as seen in the dotted line of the curve. Right. Now, if we decrease, it is very interesting to see that B does not follow the dotted line anymore. Like from 0, it follows the dotted line to reach this point A. Okay. Now, if from the point A, we would like to go back to origin, then it does not go this way. The flux, as we decrease H, B decreases like this, slowly, much slowly, okay? And when H is 0, B still has some value. So some of the flux, it is not flux, some of the material in that magnetic material, it organizes itself some way that some of the B is retained. It does not follow exactly. It does not follow the same path. So from origin, if we move to A, then if we change H to 0, we do not return to the origin. Instead, we return to point B. Right? Because there is some alignment of materials so that some of the B is retained. Okay. Now, what to do to make B 0? We move in the opposite direction. Okay. So as we go on this, B keeps further decreasing, and here it comes to C. So at C, flux is 0, but H is not 0, it is negative. Okay. Even then, if we still move in the opposite direction, then it goes to D. Then if we increase again, it comes to E. Note that even in point E, H is 0, but B is not 0. Okay. To make B 0, we have to still increase H to point F. So it follows this loop. Once it is excited to point A, it follows this loop. Okay. Now, for transformer, we used AC, not DC, right? So what happens? This H, it will move like this sinusoidally, correct? So B, it will not move like this. B will move, take this type of path, okay? Correct? And some of the energy is required to realign the dipole. So this energy lost, this is the hysteresis loss in a transformer. Is it okay? So we need some energy to magnetize the core, as you can see here. Right, so this is the hysteresis loss. And what is eddy current? What is eddy current? That when there is a change of flux, there are small loops of current that is generated, okay, and they create heat. In order to prevent this eddy current, sometimes like this perforated, okay. There are one instead of continuous core, there are several layers, okay, so that there's current loops are not formed. Exactly. So there are two losses. One is the hysteresis loss, and the other is the eddy current loss. And these two have a loss in total called the core losses. This one, right? So how does a transformer is basic circuit is this? See, this one is a primary. We are putting a AC source here. This one is secondary, and between them there is a iron core which ensures that most of the flux it follows the dotted line and they do not go out. Okay. V1 is the primary voltage, I1 is the primary current, V2 is the primary secondary voltage, I2 is the secondary current. Okay. This is fine. So see, they are laminated sheets so that eddy current loss is minimum, and they are 0.35 to 0.7 millimeter thick. The vertical portion are called limbs and horizontal are called yokes. Frankly speaking, I am not very familiar, okay, because I do not work in these things. So what happens? I am applying a primary voltage on the primary coil. So it will generate a current in the primary coil, and that will generate a flux in the steel core. I am putting a voltage, okay. This voltage will generate a current, and this current will generate a flux in the steel core. The steel core will ensure that most of the flux stay on the core, and not very less is gone to the air, and rest that is lost. So this core, this flux living here, that will generate a EMF in the secondary coil. Yes, usually they are different. Usually number of terms in the primary and secondary coil are different, unless what sir told, remember in that lab, where in one case they are same when they are the isolation transformer. Okay, in electronic circuits we use sometimes, but for this discussion we will always assume that number of turns in primary and number of turns secondary are, they are different, but they can be same in one or two cases, but we will not consider that. Okay. Now, if we assume that no flux is lost, all the flux generated in primary are linked to the secondary, then the EMF generated on each turn of the primary and secondary coils are same. EMF generated per turn. Okay. So see, total EMF generated in secondary by total EMF generated in primary, that is equal to what? N2 times EMF per turn for secondary. Number of turns in secondary we assume to be N2, and number of turns in primary we assume to be N1, and we assume that N1 and N2 are not same. Okay, they are different. They can be, one can be larger and one can be smaller, but they are not same. So N2 by N1, equation 3 is okay, very easy. Is equation 3 clear? This is very small. I think we can finish today only. Now, if secondary is an open circuit, what does it mean? That there is no load. The secondary circuit is open. Okay. So I2 would be 0. If there is no load on the secondary and the secondary is kept open, then I2 would be 0. Correct. And what about I1? If secondary is open, then I2 is 0. That is obvious. But what about I1? Is I1 0 also? Not 0. Why? Because some current flow is required to have this flux. Right? It is very less, but it is not 0. And second consequence is that if the secondary is open circuited, then the voltage generated V2 is almost equal to the induced EMF in the secondary is E2. You understand the difference between E2 and V2? E2 is the induced EMF in the secondary, and V2 is the voltage we are measuring across the secondary. Right? If I2 is 0, then they are the same. Second concept is V1 is same as E1, but they are opposite in phase. Why? For no load, if V1 is almost same as E1, but opposite, 180 degree opposite in phase. Why? Why they are not same? Magnitude wise same, but phasor wise is opposite. Yes, negative sign, right? Yes, because it opposes the V1. Exactly. Right. So for no load, this very famous transformer equation is valid. Okay. Equation 4 is fine. The very famous transformer equation. Assuming that secondary is open circuited. Correct? Right. So only 4 minutes are remaining. So I suggest to close this meeting and let's continue. Okay, in the second half. So please close the meeting and start afresh.
Okay, sir.